Welcome to Comfort Epic number 2. I'm your host, Echo Fan Grey Wolf. So here's how this weekend went. So this weekend, I had already ordered two Spider-Man 2099, and he won't be in until next month. However, I went to Target. Okay, without collapsing my entire thing, I went to Target and I got Miguel O'Hara because he is the first mixed Spider-Man and he is my favorite Spider-Man, or at least one of my favorite Spider-Mans. I have one problem with this figure. No, I have not opened him, and I'm mad as hell. He has fucking toe articulation. Hasbro, I don't like toe articulation. And I know he's a reissue, but I would prefer him not to have toe articulation. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually fix that when I do open him. I'm probably going to find like the smallest like pin needle and glue that shit so that it doesn't work. Alright, let me explain this because a lot of y'all are probably going to get pissed off. Alright, at one point, at one time, I had a Spider-Man, I think it was Toy Biz, and he had toe articulation. And this is why I hate toe articulation. It's why I won't buy figures with toe articulation no matter how much I love the figure. I did not know he had toe articulation before I ordered him. And before I purchased this one, I had heard he had toe articulation, but I wasn't sure. So the only way to be sure was to go buy the motherfucker. So I went and bought him. Alright. I got him, and he has toe articulation. Now back to the main story about that. I had a Spider-Man with toe articulation, and the toe articulation, it lasted about like 4 months out of the package before the toes kept doing this. So you couldn't hold the figure up, and the toes would just like flop. So toe articulation is like a bad fucking make, and I personally don't like it. I'm not going to tell you not to buy any toy with toe articulation, but if you like toe articulation and that's your thing, knock yourself out. Miguel has toe articulation. Now I don't know if the Legendary Edition has toe articulation, and if I can find out, I will buy me a Legendary Miguel O'Hara and keep that one too. Now also in my defense, I have the first wave of Across the Spider-Verse. The only person I'm missing is Peter B. Parker with the baby. He's the only one I don't have. But you know, if if um if I get the chance, I will find out if there is a Peter B. Parker with the baby. But yeah, outside of that, I don't like toe articulation because of a Spider-Man I had with the toe articulation. It just warped out and it wouldn't. I couldn't fix it. You know, and eventually I think that Spider-Man either got lost or tossed. I don't really remember. But you know, it is what it is. So I personally am against toe articulation. If you like toe articulation, knock yourself out. But I will state this, and I hope this reaches Hasbro with the most politest way possible. Could you please offer us an alternative ankle without the toe articulation, or could you make it like the exclusive figures have toe articulations, and then like the next figure that's the same figure without toe articulation? Something so that people who don't like toe articulation doesn't have to suffer with that. I mean, if we're gonna pay like $25, $30 for the damn thing, I want what I want, but I don't want toe articulation. So there should be a midway between who wants toe articulation and who don't. If you don't want toe articulation, let's put it like this: the first 150 off the line have toe articulation. The other 150 don't. But you can drop 300 of them and make it optional, where you say, okay, exclusives with toe articulations go to like this store, where all the rest of them go to like any other store. Or you can make it so that we can order the ones with or without toe articulation. All right, so that's how that started off, and I found other things at Target, so I didn't buy them, but I did buy a G.I. Joe Battle Android Trooper. So I have 2 bad guys and about like 5 G.I. Joes. Okay, so I'm gonna have the army build, but right now, while money is tight, that is not an option. But I am waiting for the retro carded Falcon so I can get that, and then he will be my 4th Falcon. Falcon is my favorite male G.I. Joe. Jinx is my favorite female G.I. Joe. I have 2 Jinxes. I have 3 Falcons because I got Falcon and Quill so that I can put the head of that Falcon on the Falcon Classified, because that Falcon looks like somebody put his face through a meat grinder, and Hasbro really should not have released that without fixing that. But we all make our little mistakes and everything, and don't think that the wrong way. I'm not knocking Hasbro. I really love the company because I've been with y'all since '82 with the mini G.I. Joes. I do have the Super 7 Jinx. She doesn't have the articulation that the original Hasbro had, but she's actually Asian looking, and she has the same hairdo from the G.I. Joe the movie, just like the other Jinx that I have. That's the 6-inch Jinx. And I also have Quick Kick and Storm Shadow. I have a Snake Eyes with the Polar Bear, but I don't have Snake Eyes with Timber. So you can see how my army building is going. I do need to buy a few more Cobras. The only Cobras I really want to buy is Nemesis Enforcer, Galabulus, and Pythona. Maybe Serpentor. I think I have Dr. Mindbender. I'm not going to swear to it. I swear I bought him, but I could be wrong. Look. They're all over there. Somewhere. Okay? Now, getting back to my weekend. My weekend is how I found out that my book is legitimately at Barnes & Noble, because the first thing I did was I went to GameStop after going to Target. I got the Spider-Man at Target, got some questions done at GameStop. I think I paid for something or ordered something outside of the Battle Android Trooper. And then I drove down the street to Michael's and got all these beads and shit that's in this thing. And then I beat it that. I did write at least 3 or 4 pages in my book for the fight scene for for Sundown. So I'm at the big boss battle where a sheriff, a U.S. Marshal, and a criminal are all having a 3-way kung fu brawl. So I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work out. I have decided that I don't know if I want to kill the 2 bad guys or if I want to bring them in. Now, if I bring them in, I am going to say I am not going to do that court jargon shit. I will probably do a time jump if this weekend coming up will be the deciding factor if I'm going to have Hawk Aaron Longfeather kill Stephen Crow Stoner as well as Liam Bennett. Now, Liam Bennett is the sheriff of the Sundown Town, and his son unalived or murdered. He also raped the native girl, and then he unalived or murdered her gay cousin, who was 2-spirited. But the 2 cousin knocked his teeth out before the guy died. Then there was a shootout at the Bennett house, and the main Bennett kid that did all the killing, he's been brought in alive. His best friend has been brought in alive. The brother that didn't do anything, he was sent to Alaska. Alright? Now, I'm working that in, because that's going to probably be where the story ends, because he's the innocent brother. He's not exactly innocent, but there's no evidence against him. But his younger brother and his daddy, they're guilty as shit. Because the daddy thought that the mother was cheating with the black deputy, so he set up the black deputy and he tried to kill the black deputy and the mom. He basically shot the black deputy, but then fate interfered as a Kodiak grizzly bear got the rest of the deputy, and then he shot the mom, but she fell into the water and got washed down, and the natives found her, so they took her to their place and they put her in a special hospital where she's been in a coma for 10 years. I'm not going to give you any more of the story, but that when the book's done, you're going to want to read it, all right? And it's called Sundown, all right? So hopefully, I had to take a lot of native stuff out of it so that, because there's pretendians everywhere, and I didn't want the pretendians to get any of this native culture. Now, I did make them a tribe that I'm not, yet again. So, yeah. Now, as far as the American Kona Beach Girls, they are part of a tribe that I am possibly from, but we're not going to say anything. Links to the bios right there. Um, so, therefore, I took a lot of tribal shit out of that, and I took a lot of tribal shit by accident and put in Love 13, and some of the shit that I did for the Thunderbirds actually real. Now, here's the fucked up part. I thought that I was just changing it and using my imagination. So apparently, Virginia tribes also believe in Thunderbird, and I swear to God, I didn't think that we had any Thunderbird stories. I did Google it, and it's like, fuck. But it's worse than that. I literally almost put everything that I knew about Thunderbird, word for word, verbatim, in the fucking story. I thought I was changing it with my imagination, but apparently my great grandmother's story must have kicked in somewhere, and I just like remembered Thunderbird. And I was like, wait a minute, Thunderbird can't shapeshift, can he? So I googled it. Fuck, he can shapeshift. I didn't think he could shapeshift, so I put him as a shapeshifter in the fucking book, and I was like, he can't shapeshift. I've never been told he can shapeshift. I just know he's a fucking spirit of vengeance. Apparently, I must have been told that he could shapeshift somewhere, because in the book he can shapeshift. But outside of that, and if you're native, please don't come at me. I swear to God, I didn't remember that he could shapeshift. I thought he couldn't shapeshift, so I made him shapeshift. Anyway, Love 13 is not published yet, but when it does, you're going to want to read the book. But until you do get it published, or until I get it published, rather, American Kona Beach is available at BarnesandNoble.com online store. And now, moving back to the rest of the weekend, that's how we got there, because that was the last stop on my weekend before I came home and started beating the fuck out of this goddamn native regalia for these action figures. Now, before I beat the regalias, I did work on the Sundown, which is, again, I just jumbled everything the fuck up. But yeah, that's how the weekend pretty much went. And then Sunday I woke up to a fuck ton of snow. I hate snow. But I woke up to a fuck ton of snow. Yeah, I don't play in the snow. I don't function well in the cold. And unfortunately, my ancestor is not part Inuit, so I've just had to deal with cold weather on top of cold weather on top of cold weather. And that's also why I haven't been able to record me doing Kung Fu live for you guys. And I mean, for like the last 2 years, we've had bad cold weather. Now, we haven't had snow, but we've had snow in 2025 and 2026, and a little bit in 2024, which is about probably the last time I did a martial art video for y'all. I really don't remember. But whenever the last time I did a martial art video for y'all, which was recording Instagram and TikTok at the same time, we had really bad weather ever since, and it's either been really, really cold, or I've had to work on really, really good days at the time that I could be filming. I had to go to work. So that kind of fucked that shit up. Anyway, I hope to bring all of that shit back. So just be looking out for it. And if you guys would do me the favor of going to BarnesandNoble.com and buying that book, that would be great. And if you don't, it's all good. We're still good, and this door is always going to be open for you, unless you're racist. Anyway, that being said, thank you guys very much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. Much love. Be seeing you. I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf, and I'm out.